Hello and welcome back to the Future Edit. I'm your host, Kelly Ekardt, and we are in season 2. I know, I can't believe it. I took some time to think about whether or not I wanted to do seasons. And I thought, yeah, because then for me, I kind of have to have a structure. And so I thought, okay, 15 weeks, then a month's break, and then another 15 weeks. So then you have you have quarters basically, which is good for me and my brain. So I just want to give you a rundown of season 1. If you have not caught up on season 1, please do. I had the most amazing guest on here, women this time, this last season, all women, which is great because I think for me, especially, I needed that. I needed that knowledge, that information from women. Being a woman that's been going through an awakening, that's going through a big change, that turned 40, you know, those whole like milestone things that you go through. So season 2 is going to be great as well. Another 15 guests. I do have a few men on though, because I do feel that it's extremely important for men to also talk about mental health and check in and spirituality and all those good things. So super exciting. My first guest on season 2 right now is my husband, Julius Eckhart. We had a really lovely talk on the balcony one night with our friend Hannah about mental health and how both of them really are constantly thinking about other people and not themselves. And then the conversation got deeper about how you hear a lot about women and mental health, but not so much men and mental health. And so Jules said, hey, why don't I come on and talk about my point of view from being a man, but also being a husband, a father, a son, working a full-time job, trying to be a modern man, and the stresses that I deal with on a daily basis and how I cope with these. And I thought, wow, that's let's do this. So he's my first guest this season. And then I have many, 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 many more guests coming on, which is super, super exciting. I'm so excited. So I just wanted to do a kind of a wrap of what season 1 was all about. Well, first thing, it was my first season. I was like, hey, I want to start a podcast. Don't know what I'm doing. Let's give this a go. And I feel that it's gone really, really well. My first episode was me explaining what the Future Edit is and what to expect. And for those of you that don't know what this podcast is about, it is about editing the future you, doing the inner work now for a happier and healthier you. It's super important to live in the moment. This is what spirituality and meditation are all about, is being in this moment now. Because all we have is now. And 2 minutes is going to be now, and 3 minutes is going to be now. It's always now. But a lot of times we are constantly looking backwards to the past or to the future. And what happens is we end up missing out on our lives. And we think, oh, why didn't this happen to me? Why didn't this happen to me? It's, well, because the universe is like, I gave you all these opportunities, but you didn't live in the now. So this is what the podcast is about. It's and spirituality as well is about being in the moment. So if you can be in the moment now and do the inner work now, you're going to have a happier and healthier future you, which is great, right? So I talked about why I started this podcast. I was going through a really rough time and I needed answers and I couldn't find these answers. So I thought there must be loads of other women, men and women like me looking for these answers. So let's find them and share them. My first guest, that wasn't me, well, my first guest was Colette Moran. She was my therapist. And we talked about therapy, the importance of therapy, how she's not your conventional therapist. She believes in holding space for you and giving you that time to discover yourself, to challenge you. But also, if you're a spiritual person, she'll throw in some spirituality for you, which I am, or I'm now becoming again, but in a different way, in a more Kelly kind of way. And so that was we talked about core values, the importance of therapy, the difference between therapy and therapeutic things, which is also very important. So that is episode 1. And then we went on to episode 2, which was Farah Liz Palero, which she is amazing because she is a psychologist. She's also a professor, but she combines psychology with fashion and spirituality. How being in the fashion industry is super toxic. But if you start adding this element of knowing yourself, going deeper, having a spiritual practice, overall, your industry is going to be happier and healthier, meaning you're going to have less corruption, you're going to have better pay, overall, humanity. That's people that are working in this industry are treated fairly, proper wages. But this all starts with who you are as a person. What do you value? What do you want? And how so many of us don't see fashion and spirituality and psychology go hand in hand, but it really do. How many times have you gone to the closet and said, I don't have anything to wear. Who am I? What am I doing? But if you have a strong recognition of who you are as a person, you also have a strong style. You own that. You believe in yourself. You believe in your style. So she worked in the fashion industry and she had a breakdown. She said, this isn't working anymore. So she's providing materials and training and really wanting to help the fashion industry heal themselves, which is super, because I have been in the fashion industry for 20 some years and I also got burnt out and felt like, what is going on here? I don't get it. So it was a beautiful episode. And then episode 4 was Emily Abara. She's a photographer and she's an American living in Frankfurt as well. And we've worked together and done some projects and she's super amazing. And our chat was great because it's so nice to have two Americans chat because we get it. And it was just fun. And we talked about her take on spirituality, what she's into at the moment, her path, her background, her family. So that was a really fun episode. I got a lot of really good feedback on that going, oh, that was really fun. So she will be back on the podcast because we had a fabulous talk. Episode 5 was Michaela Lights. Oh my God, if you haven't heard episode 5, please check out Michaela. She is a campaigner for plus size. She is a stylist and she's stylist, personal stylist, and an image consultant. And she is campaigning for women of all sizes. It's not just about being, where's the fashion for us normal women? And also, if you are not in that size bracket that is considered normal, what is out there for you? And it's about owning who you are, being proud of who you are, loving yourself. And she does so much work on loving yourself and accepting yourself and saying, God damn it, I am hot. This is who I am. I love myself. I am beautiful. I am owning who I am. And I am dressing fucking hot too. Oh, she's full of so much wisdom and knowledge. And it was this really beautiful episode. So please check out Michaela. And she just has so much energy. I walked away literally floating talking to her. And then I have Carolina Kurtz from Kairos Blumen. This was a beautiful episode because when you think of flowers, you don't necessarily think of it as a way of therapy or it being therapeutic. And oh my God, the way that she approaches a wedding, if she's doing flowers for a wedding, or the way she approaches a bouquet, or she works with a lot of dry flowers and she has these things called flower clouds, and anything she makes, she approaches it with this, what's the word I even want to use, this ease, it's almost like a spiritual practice for her. She comes in and she lights candles and she puts on right music and she thinks about, who is she making this for? What are they like? What do they want to get out of this? And so she really digs in. What's their star sign? Everything about her making these bouquets. She thinks about the end product and how this person is going to enjoy it. And it's so beautiful. And she's also held flower workshops, which are very therapeutic. So it's about spending time with yourself, with other women, drinking champagne, eating food made only out of flowers, which is super cool, and doing a workshop about using your hands, using flowers, and kind of creating this, it's like, yeah, flower therapy. It's so great. And she just, oh, check her out, please. Really beautiful. And then I had Freya Ka on, episode 7. She does birth charts. She does tarot. She does Reiki. I had her do my birth chart. It was a gift from a friend, and she is another American living in Frankfurt, but she's moved recently to another city in Germany. And she is so good at a birth chart. Oh my gosh. She explained everything to me, and the conversation was just so great. And she explains birth chart, she explains tarot, she explains Reiki, and about how you can work with all of it and using crystals, and really, her journey and healing process to get her to where she is now, so she could also help people on their journey and heal through her work, through her birth charts. And it was really, really, really beautiful episode. I mean, all of them are beautiful, and I'll keep saying it over and over. They're all beautiful. Check out her episode as well. You can get online and contact her to have her read yours. It was super, super informational for me and really helped. Then episode 8, we talked to Solveig Preby. She is the founder of the English Yoga Meetups. And I gotta say, this is probably, they're all my favorite, but chatting to Solveig was like a breath of fresh air. She's acknowledging her journey. She's doing the same thing I'm doing, just constantly wanting more information about, spirituality, human design, psychology, yoga, all these things she's really tapping into to help her on her journey. And she was never a yogi or really into yoga. She couldn't find what she was looking for. And, she didn't consider herself super advanced. She didn't want to wear Lululemon leggings, even though they're very nice. She just kind of felt out of place. And she figured that there's probably other women that felt out of place as well, that they wanted to begin this practice, but they didn't know where to start or where to go without feeling shit about themselves. So she started up English Yoga Meetups, and it's a really beautiful community. Because she's traveled so much, she enjoys an international community, and this is what she caters to. And yes, she has one in Frankfurt, I think Munich, and I think there's one started in Berlin now. I could be wrong on that. And she has a beautiful website with she brings experts on to give really good advice and information. So if you are in Frankfurt, please go and check out her yoga sessions, or listen to her lives and go to her website. It was really, I walked away from that episode going, wow, I learned a lot today. So really, really good. And then I had Milena Icuvela. Oh my God, I love her last name. Episode 9. She is an art therapist, and I got to attend one of her online art therapy sessions. Really cool. And what I was drawing, it made so much sense in the end. It's like, oh wow, I was feeling that. So she uses art therapy to help people go inward, find themselves, connect with themselves. Not everyone can just share their emotions, share their feelings. They want to get this feeling out, but they're not sure exactly how to verbalize it. So art therapy is a really, really good way to use a creative medium. So whether it's drawing or mixed media, whatever it is, she can help you and sit with you, and you can go through and say, okay, this probably means this probably means this. Does it resonate with you? So that was a really, really lovely episode. Check that out. And then episode 10 was Donna Tweedale. She is a stylist based in the UK, and I have a lot of respect for Donna. One, her style is amazing. She's always stayed true to herself. And the way she approaches styling is just insanely beautiful. For her, she emails you a questionnaire. She wants to know, She wants to know about you. Where are you coming from, and how can she help you on your journey to becoming you, to finding your style? The candles she uses, the scents, everything, to the coffee, to the tea she uses. It's going into someone's wardrobe is extremely personal. And a lot of times the reason why you hire a stylist is because you need someone to help you get back to yourself or rediscover yourself. You've grown. You're not the same person you used to be. So your style is different even. So to invite someone into your personal space is quite precious. And she does it with so much respect for a woman. And wow, just check that out. It's fantastic, this episode. Then we go on to episode 11. Jo Love Dixon. She is a campaigner for mental health, for therapy. She's written a book called Therapy is Magic, and she is a strong believer that therapy is the way to go. She also believes in therapeutic things to go hand in hand with therapy, but therapy, she believes, is wow, just can just change your world. So that was really nice because we talked about the problems within the healthcare industry in the UK and in Germany, just because I'm in Germany now and I was in the UK, and how mental health should be available, or getting help or having a healthy mental health should be available for everyone. Therapy should be available to everyone, to anyone that needs it. And a lot of times you just jump through hoops to try to get the help you need. And a lot of times when you reach out for help, that's already a big step. And then to have to be put on a waiting list or not finding the right therapist or what you need, that is really disheartening, because when you reach out for help, you're already to a point that you need help. And people don't reach out for help when they feel good. It's a lot of time when they're at that breaking point. And that's when you really need to get in fast. And unfortunately, in today's system, it's just not treated as a number one priority, which does not make sense, because if everyone had healthy mental health, then you would have less sickness, because a lot of sicknesses and a lot of diseases are caused by stress. And if we could minimize stress in our bodies, we would have our healthcare system would not be on the brink of a breaking point. But this is still, I just don't get, but it's funding, it's having enough psychologists, it's just a vicious cycle. So she's really trying to change that, which is beautiful. So her book is out, Therapy is Magic. Check it out. And also check out her podcast, because she's super, super passionate. Episode 12, Charlotte Ember. Charlotte Ember is a childhood friend. We went to church together. And we talked about our upbringing in a fundamental Christian church. We are not, with this episode, I want to make clear, we are not against Christianity or spirituality. We are just talking about our experience in a fundamental Christian church and how it can be quite daunting. That we believe anyone and everyone should have a personal relationship with God if they want to. That is great. But we're coming from our point of view, and that basically for us, it didn't work. And we needed to get out of this damaging environment for us to really find our own spirituality, what we believe in, and not have someone judging us because we didn't go to church on Sunday or we skipped out on Wednesday or whatever. And so she talks about her journey and how she's using music and higher frequencies and music to help people heal, and helping them on their journey to find their spirituality. Wow, we go deep. We go really deep. Check it out. If you want to know kind of what our upbringing was about, check Charlotte Ember out and listen to her music. Every time I listen to it on YouTube, I cry. It's so beautiful, and her voice is insane. There's something about her voice that will just take you to a whole nother level, and it will relax you, and you can call in your spirit guides, whatever you want to do with her voice. Immaculate. Whew, so good. So then we go on to Hedi. Hedi has Nymph of Neptune episode 13, and she is a psychic. She also specializes in birth charts and tarot, but for her, she's big into astrology, and she's gone back to school to study astrology. So I'll be bringing her on frequently for her to tell us kind of what's going on in the sky, what she's learning, what she's focusing on. And I did a session with her. I did 2 sessions with her. Spectacular. She really helped me out. She's also about, in these sessions, wanting you, it's all about helping you find your inner self, moving forward, what's holding you back. So, and watching her work is quite beautiful as well. I really love watching her work when I'm on video chat with her. So check out that. And then we have episode 14, Micah Gabriella. She specializes in human design. She's so passionate. Oh my God, just watch her chat. Just the passion, the excitement in her voice is amazing. And she explains human design and what it's about and goes in a little more detail, and it's super beautiful. And if you would like to get into human design, please check her out, because human design is really, for me, has opened my eyes, and it's also giving you permission to be who you are and what your design's about. And I won't go into detail. You can listen to the episode to find out more. And episode 15, our last one of season 1, was Tyda Glazer, and she is a coach. And in this episode, we talk a lot about relationships and how important it is to, 1, have a relationship with yourself, but 2, have a in order to have a healthy relationship with someone else, you need to have a healthy relationship with yourself, and how it's important to also have boundaries within your relationships, to know what you want, have healthy relationships. It's not just about romantic, but it's also about friendship and family. And so that is also really, really important. And so so that was a really important episode, because it's about relationships. And also that she points out, which I thought was quite an interesting point. And a lot of times people get married or in relationships and they think it's going to last forever. And sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. And she also helps people get through that if they realize that they're just a different person and they're meant to be with someone else. And I found that quite interesting as well, because a lot of times we are taught this is this person forever for the rest of our lives, but actually it doesn't make sense anymore, because both people have changed and they end up hindering their growth and keeping them from having an even healthier relationship with someone else, because they're thinking, I have to hold on to this even though it's not working. So I thought that was quite an interesting point. But listen to that whole episode. It's really beautiful. All of them are beautiful. Like I said, they're all beautiful. I'm so blessed and happy and proud that they all came on and they believed in this podcast and they wanted to share their voice with you guys. So, and also thank you for listening, and please keep listening and keep sharing and tell your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can also watch on YouTube. Unfortunately, some technical errors happened season 2 with some of the videos, so they're not going to be on there, but that's okay. It's my main focus is for you to listen to us and really take some time out and put your headphones on and sit down and have a proper listen. So so stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening to season 1, and let's get on with season 2. So ciao. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you're hearing, please like us, subscribe, and tell your friends. You can follow us on Instagram, The Future Edit. And for more information about my guest and myself, you can head to thefutureedit.com. Until next time, ciao.